info session for the Leadership Academy. My name is Vanessa Dzege, the Leadership and Entrepreneurship Manager at Leading Change Africa. And in case you're wondering where I am experiencing this blackout from, I am based in Malawi. So, just to get us started, I will just share a bit of what we are as Leading Change, just to let you know who we are and what we do here at Leading Change. So, Leading Change Africa is an organization that is a US-based organization that is also available in Mali and Burkina Faso, but our programs reach across Africa. So we have this vision of transforming young Africans into leaders and leaders into agents of change. So hence why we try to make sure that we reach the whole of Africa. As you can see, I am based in Malawi, so including Malawi. So any direction you can look in Africa, we are trying to make sure that we're able to empower young leaders and yeah, be able to transform them into agents of change. So we do this through different programming. We have personal development and academic programs, as well as accelerator programs. For the personal development and academic programs, we have the Leadership Academy, which is what we're here for today. So I won't speak too much about it right now because we're going to get into it as the session goes on. But we also have academic programs such as the undergraduate program, where we support high achieving, low income students in securing scholarships for local and English speaking universities. So this is at this moment mostly also focused on our yeah, so a few countries. So far we're reaching a few countries. We have been able to reach young people in Burkina Faso. That's where we piloted the program, hence the English speaking universities. But we are expanding our reach slowly, and as I said, our goal is to be able to reach more countries in Africa. So our progress is there, and we are taking it one step at a time. In terms of accelerator programs, we have them grouped into two. We have entrepreneurship accelerator programs as well as a conservation agriculture accelerator programs. So under entrepreneurship, we have what we call the leading change accelerator programs, which are we have the blueprint as well as the market validation. The blueprint under the blueprint, we support idea and early stage entrepreneurs with knowledge and skills that they need to develop a business plan, a minimum viable product, whatever it is, just so that they can kickstart their entrepreneurship journey. And along the way, we support them with mentorship, training, just making sure that we are preparing them as much as we can for them to become as I said, change that they would like to see, the entrepreneurs that we would like to build our industries in Africa. And on top of that, to complement the blueprint, we also have the market validation, which focuses now on supporting young people with scaling their businesses. So we have one that's focusing on those on young people that might just have an idea, and then we have one that is focusing on young people that have started something, but they just need a little push for them to be able to scale their businesses, whether it is nationwide or they would like to scale to other countries. That's what the market validation is there for. So we support them with mentorship as well as support them in how they can best position themselves to access funding opportunities. Then we have the LCAP rural development, which is aimed at equipping farmers in West Africa at this moment with the skills and knowledge to practice conservation agriculture and agribusiness. So if you are a young farmer with either at this moment in either in Mali or Burkina Faso, please try to reach us so that we you can be able to join this program. And if you are interested in any one of these programs, please also make sure that you try to reach us. Before I move on, I just realized that I had missed out on the housekeeping rules. I will blame the blackout for now, but some of the housekeeping rules to keep in mind as we're in this session. One thing I would encourage us to make sure that we rename ourselves so that the name that's appearing when we are looking at participants in this session is our actual name. This just helps us to know who exactly has joined us today, who's in the room, and just have a better conversation. Because as much as we are not able to see each other, at least we should be able to know your name. So if you're able to rename yourself, and you can rename yourself by clicking on where it says participants, going to where you are. It usually has like in quotation, in brackets, it says me. You click on more when you go to where you are, you click on more and then you find somewhere called rename. You click rename and just type in your actual name. This just again helps us have a conversation with one another and to get to know one another. But otherwise, if if at any point in this conversation you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand so that I can pass you the floor and you can ask your question, or feel free to type it in the chat. But honestly, feel free to raise your hand. I'll be able to pass the floor to you. Those were just few of the housekeeping rules. So now back to the Leadership Academy. I mean, literally. The Leadership Academy is a program that we designed to equip young people with essential leadership and personal and professional development skills that they need to effectively bring positive impact to their communities and beyond, of course. But obviously, we start with the community and we expand. So we have three main objectives, or rather pillars, that we try to focus on in this program, which is community impact. Our efforts are to support you in for how you can be able to foster positive impact within your communities and foster long-lasting change. So your impact doesn't end with just one activity, but be able to bring about long-lasting change as even after your whatever impact, even after you have implemented whatever you want to implement. We also focus on practical applications of the skills that you're learning. So one of the things that we try to make sure is to blend theory with real world experiences so that we're not giving you examples of something that's just something theoretical, but we are able to relate to what you are learning to your real life experiences. And of course, there's the leadership development part of all this, where our goal is to make sure that we build you to be a transformative person and a professional with that drive to be able to bring about the impact you'd like to see. So all of these things are covered within a
Halo,
period
ya
of
Njara.
10 weeks.
Kwa haja ada majiwa? Okay,
A period of 10 weeks. And during that period of 10 weeks, we we support you with the theoretical foundations of leadership, the practical exposure in terms of leadership, as well as the peer-to-peer learning. We believe very much in peer-to-peer learning, so that you are able to learn how your colleagues are implementing some of these ideas, how they are going about their leadership journeys as well. And at the end of the program, the goal is to have participants. It is to ensure that participants will be engaged to drive impact within their communities and, of course, beyond that. Now, the Leadership Academy is implemented through different formats. So it's designed for different age groups as well as contexts. So I'll start here. This is just the General Leadership Academy that I was referring to. We have two ways that we implement the Leadership Academy. We have the Virtual Leadership Academy as well as the In-Person Leadership Academy. For the In-Person Leadership Academy, this is implemented in Burkina Faso and in Mali. So if you're based in Mali or Burkina Faso and you're aged between 14 to 18, you are able to join either the Leadership Academy in Burkina Faso or in Mali. But if you are aged between 18 to 35 and you are more interested in learning something, or you are able to learn something more virtually, or you're not even based in Burkina Faso or Mali, the Leadership Academy is also offered virtually. So we have the English Virtual Leadership Academy, which I will be talking mostly about today. And then we also have the French Virtual Leadership Academy. So to take us back, we have the Leadership Academy, which is delivered virtually and in person. For the in-person, it is delivered in Burkina Faso as well as in Mali. Yes, as well as in Mali. For those in Mali, you should just take note that the program is going to also be targeting young people between ages of 18 to 35, whilst this in Burkina Faso, it is targeting young people aged 14 to 18. The Leadership Academy that's delivered virtually is delivered both in English, and then we have another one that's delivered in French. Both of these programs that are delivered virtually are targeting young people between the ages of 18 to 35. Once again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Feel free to raise a hand or type it in the chat. We're here to make sure that you walk away with enough information to make a decision on whether this program is for you and which one of these programs you feel works best for you. Now, as I mentioned, for today, I will be speaking mostly about the English Virtual Leadership Academy. So the Virtual Leadership Academy that is delivered in English, one requires participants to be proficient in English, of course, but the program is delivered through a learning management system. Our learning management system that is known as YAM-Edu. So we have a learning management system. So when I say learning management system, think of Moodle or Google Classroom, something of the sort. It just helps us to be able to deliver the content and to be able to let you learn at your own pace. So we're able to share with you some content and you're able to learn it at your own pace, recognizing that we're people with in different time zones and with different demands demands in our lives. You're able to go through the program or the content that is delivered on our learning management system at your own pace. Then we have, on top of that, to complement that though, we have mentorship as well as live facilitated sessions. So those are Zoom sessions where we meet every once in 2 weeks. Once in 2 weeks, for you to be able to discuss what you've been able to cover so that it's not just boring and you're just going through the learning on your own, but you're able to share and interact with the colleagues that you are learning with, learn how they are translating some of this information that they're covering on YAM. What else can we consider? How else can we consider implementing the ideas that we are learning on YAM into our real lives? For us, again, the goal is to be able to bring about real change. So how do we do that with what we're learning? So this provides us a platform for us to be able to discuss that. And then on top of that, we also have engagements where you're able to meet other leaders other leaders, and be able to learn from them how they've been to other leaders and have them be able to understand or learn or be able to apply some of the knowledge you might be learning right now, but seasoned leaders, how they themselves have applied this knowledge to get where they are today. So, as I mentioned, this program focuses on the theoretical foundations, the practical exposure, the peer-to-peer learning. All of it is just to make sure that you walk out of it as socially responsible leaders that are prepared to make a long-lasting impact in your communities. So, long-lasting impact, maybe Vanessa in Malawi will no longer be facing blackouts. So, something of the sort. Load shedding, by the way. When I say blackouts, I mean load shedding. Um, for this program, the eligibility criteria is that one, you have to be an African young person, so a young person from Africa. So no matter what country you're from, you're welcome to apply to this program. As long as you are a young African between the ages of 18 to 35, this program is for you. Um, as I mentioned, that you have to be a young African, so that means that you must reside within an African country and be an African citizen. So any country within Africa, whether it is South Africa, Guinea, Malawi, Nigeria, Kenya, Somalia, wherever you are coming from, you are able to apply to this program. You must also be passionate about leadership and personal development. We would like to see some of that passion. Why are you trying to be a leader? Is there something that is drawing you to leadership? Why it doesn't also have to be anything deep here. You can just be somebody who wants to make a change within your community, or you are even just taking up a lot more leadership positions than you have seen, whether it is you even leading um a prayer group, or if it's you leading your community or your fellow young people in taking an action, your schoolmates leading them in something. We would like for you to be able we would like to be able to strengthen you in your journey with that. Um, but also you should be able to fully participate in the 8 weeks program, which starts in April and ends in June. I will go through the timeline properly, but we would like you to be able to participate in the program. And once again, when we say participate in the program, you'll be able to go through the modules at your own pace, but just making sure that we are providing with the mentorship as well as you're attending the live the Zoom sessions, just so that we can continue learning with one another. And you must also have access to an internet-enabled device, whether it's a phone, a laptop, because it's a virtual program. So we need to be able to engage with you. So if you are able to, make sure that you have an internet-enabled device so that you can fully participate in the program. Otherwise, you might start participating, but as you can see, even for this information session to take place, we're doing it virtually. So just make sure that whether you're borrowing it from somebody for just a few hours or whatever the case, just have an internet-enabled device that you can be able to use and access the internet. And as I mentioned, for this specific program, the Virtual Leadership Academy, I'm referring to the English Virtual Leadership Academy. So you must also be, as I mentioned, proficient in English. So please make sure that if you're applying for the English Virtual Leadership Academy, you're proficient in English. Now, in terms of our timeline with the program, the call for application is open from the 1st of February to the 28th of February. So the call will be open until the end of this month. If you are interested, please make sure that you apply by the 28th. Then for the selection, once you have applied, we will take the month of March for us to select, choose from the applications that we have received, who is eligible to go on with the program and be enrolled. Then on 7th April, we will host the orientation session. From the 7th of April onwards until 10th June, we will be able to have those sessions that I was referring to, where you have the learning on our learning management system, the Zoom sessions, as well as the mentorship. So between 7th to 10th April, we're covering all that. And yeah, 7th April to 10th June, we're covering all that. And then on 10th June, that's when we will be finishing off and graduating. And when I say graduating, I mean you will also walk away with a certificate. So some of the things that you can expect in the program, so some of the modules that you can expect are key leadership topics such as adaptability, critical thinking, communication, inclusivity, professional is other topics touching on professional development, just a few topics for you to be able to be strengthened in your leadership journey. And as I said, you can also expect that we'll be having sessions, Zoom sessions, once every 2 weeks. And we'll also be having discussions, having group work, some assignments, just so that we can make sure that as you're walking out of this program, you are walking out as intended, ready to lead the impact that you'd like to see within your community. Um, and be able to apply what you're learning into real world contexts, so within your own community. And of course, we just want to push you to be able to actually be able to use those leadership skills. So we push you to have a final project. And at the end of it, as we've mentioned, but when I say final project, don't be intimidated. It's just something to help you remember what you have gone through, something to help truly internalize what you have been learning throughout the program. And of course, as I mentioned, on 10th June, we have our graduation ceremony where we get to celebrate your achievements throughout the 10 weeks period, how you have been able to apply some of the skills that you have been learning. On average, it's good for me, it's important for me to also highlight that a participant should expect to dedicate at least 6 to 8 hours per week to complete self-paced modules. Of course, this is the average. It doesn't mean that every week you're spending 6 hours or 8 hours, but it just means that some weeks you're spending less time, whether it's 4 hours, but we're looking at an average of at least six. And where by that I mean you're spending your time covering the peer, I mean the yes, you're spending your time covering the self-paced modules on YAM. You're spending your time covering the assignments, attending the virtual sessions. So all of that is being covered within the hours I've mentioned. And some of the benefits for participating in the program include you're able to develop some essential leadership and professional skills, of course, build a network of like-minded young people like yourself across Africa and across the continent. So even in our previous year, we were able to see some young people that were able to collaborate post the program and be able to people within different countries, whether coming from East Africa, collaborating with Southwest Africa. We saw people being able to collaborate with one another to implement different ideas and practice their leadership skills. So you are also able to benefit that cross-cultural learning from one another and collaboration, of course. You'll also be able to go through mentorship and get guided feedback from your facilitators, your assigned facilitators, or that's on top of the mentors who are able to help you throughout the entire program, be able to guide you throughout the program so that as you're walking out of this, you are walking out a leader that's ready to bring about the change that you'd like to see. Then, as I said, you also walk away with a certificate. Um, and just to add on, you also walk away with another benefit is that you are able to practice your leadership skills post the program by volunteering with Leading Change. So after the program, if you are one of the leaders that, stood out within the program, we invite you to come volunteer with Leading Change Africa and be able to use some of the skills that you have been able to learn practically within Leading Change and be able to impact more young people, be able to impact more leaders like yourself. So that's one way that we try to make sure that we provide an opportunity for you to practice your leadership skills. On top of that, we also offer the opportunity for you to be able to participate in other Leading Change Africa programs. So we have, as I was able to highlight, we have the accelerator programs and the academic programs. For the accelerator programs, last year we even had some people that were able to participate in the market validation. And actually, one of the winners of the Blueprint program was a young person coming from the Leadership Academy who was then able to build the confidence that she needed for her to be able to um develop her idea a into a business within her country. Now, I have said a lot about the Leadership Academy, and hopefully, I have answered a few questions that you had coming into this info session. But I would just like to leave you with this QR code that when you scan should be able to take you to the application form for the Virtual Leadership Academy. Of course, I will also share the link within the chat. So if you're curious about that, don't worry, I'll also be sharing the link within the chat. But this QR code takes you to the application form for the English Virtual Leadership Academy. So if you're interested to apply, feel free to scan or just await the link that I will share shortly for you to be able to apply to the program. I will stop right there to see if there are any questions. Are there any questions? Please make sure that you're walking out of here with no questions at all. That's the whole point of an info session. Yes, Omar, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam, for giving me the floor. I would like really to ask you my question in English, but my English is not very good. I would
It's
like to
okay.
ask my question in French.
Yes, you can ask in French. Mariam, are you there? Will you be able to answer?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ok, d'accord.
Mhm.
Ok, d'accord. Désolé, hein, j'aimerais vraiment poser ma question en français, en anglais, mais mon anglais n'est pas bon.
Oui, c'est pas
Mariam?
grave. Oui, oui, c'est pas grave. Allez-y.
Ok, d'accord. Merci de m'avoir accordé la parole. J'aimerais savoir, c'est vrai que j'ai vu lors des présentations, vous avez bien précisé que dans l'académie, vous avez euh, filières, je sais pas, des parcours. L'un c'est en anglais, l'autre en français, si j'ai bien retenu
Mhm.
ce qu'elle a expliqué.
Ok, ça.
Exemple, nous, on a participé pour la session de présentation ici aujourd'hui en anglais. Est-ce qu'on aura la possibilité de poster pour
Mhm.
l'autre session des rooms en français?
D'accord. C'est tout?
Oui, c'est ça.
Ok, merci beaucoup pour la question. Là, comme elle a dit, on a deux sessions en français et en anglais. On a lancé les deux appels à candidature, mais malheureusement, le nombre qu'on cherchait pour les francophones a été déjà atteint. Donc, du coup, on était obligé de clôturer avant la date prévue. Donc, ce qui fait que actuellement, ce qui est ouvert, c'est uniquement l'appel à candidature pour les anglophones. Mais je ne sais pas dans quel pays vous êtes. On organise la session au Mali en physique et également au Burkina Faso. Donc, si vous êtes dans l'un de ces pays, ce serait possible de postuler pour le programme en physique. Mais jusque pour le Burkina Faso, c'est à partir de 14 à 18 ans. Et pour le Mali, c'est de 18 à 35 ans.
D'accord, moi je suis du Tchad, donc
OK. D'accord, ok. Ça nous ferait en tout cas plaisir de vous voir postuler pour les prochains programmes parce que comme elle a dit, au début du programme, on a plusieurs programmes qui concernent les jeunes, ce qui concerne les accompagner. On intervient dans le domaine de l'entrepreneuriat, du leadership. Donc, actuellement, pour le programme de leadership pour les jeunes francophones, ça, c'est déjà fermé.
d'accord, il n'y a pas de souci. J'ai hâte de participer à la prochaine session parce
Mm,
que c'est une formation, je vois, c'est tellement intéressant pour moi. D'ailleurs, je
mhm.
suis aussi président d'une association sur place qui fait la
Mm.
promotion du numérique au Tchad. Et
D'accord,
j'aimerais vraiment développer cette partie de leadership.
ok.
Donc, y a pas de souci.
D'accord. Merci
Euh,
beaucoup pour votre intérêt. Vanessa, he was asking about the French one, and
Mm,
unfortunately, I told him that it's already closed. He's from Chad, and he wanted to apply for the French Future Leadership Academy.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. You can also just let him know that we have other programs such as the Inspiring Journeys that he can be able to join in as part of just a
Yeah,
conversation.
that's what I told him. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's perfect. Perfect. Any other questions? I have left
Wait.
the.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Vanessa. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I have left the form I've shared the form within the chat. So if
Mhm.
you're interested, please feel
For
free
the Inspired
to
Journey?
no for the
Okay, for this
for the
program.
English
Okay.
virtual, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Elle dit qu'elle a laissé le lien pour ceux qui sont intéressés. Par contre, on a d'autres programmes aussi, comme je le disais tantôt. Donc, vous pourrez suivre notre page Facebook, LinkedIn et vous aurez des informations. Ah, it's okay.
ok, d'accord, merci.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I don't have a question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I want to speak very good English, but I didn't. I understand English, but my problem is how I call it to communicate in English.
Mm.
I don't know if I can join the program because when you speak, I understand very well. But my problem, because we are in French country, donc my communication is a very little one. I don't know if I can join the program, the English program.
I mean, if you would like to challenge yourself and practice, have a platform where you can practice your English with
Yeah.
other young people in
Mhm.
Africa, then why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
That is my point because as you know, in Guinea we speak French. So I'm trying to speak English because I learned English a little bit, but I
Mm.
wanna yes, I used to say I wanna challenge myself and try to speak English fluently.
Okay, no, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, if that's the case, feel free to apply. I have attached the link within the chat. It'll take you directly to the form.
Yeah, I've already scanned the code, the QR code.
Okay, perfect.
Mm.
Hope to see you in the program.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Um, if there are no other questions, I think then I can formally thank you all for joining today's info session, and wanting to learn a little bit more about the Virtual Leadership Academy, rather the Leadership Academy. I hope we were able to provide more clarity about the program and we hope to be able to see you join us in this 2026 Virtual Leadership Academy. If you have any other questions after this, please feel free to reach out to us. Please feel free to reach out to us as Leading Change Africa through our Facebook, our LinkedIn, our Instagram, really even TikTok, any platform you can think about. We will be here to support you as best as we can. And yeah, thank you very much for joining once again. Mariam, you have unmuted yourself. I don't know if you had anything to add.
No, it's okay for me.
Great.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.